A man who, in just 4 months, siphoned over 103 million from one of South Africa's biggest banks. And he did all that without firing a single bullet or cracking open a vault. It may sound like a Hollywood thriller, but this is the real life story of Xolela Masebeni, a quiet IT specialist who pulled off one of the most shocking white-collar crimes in South African history and ended up murdered in cold blood just weeks after his crimes became public knowledge. This is the story of Xolela Masebeni. Let's get into it. Xolela Masebeni was a 31-year-old man from Komani, formerly known as Queenstown in the Eastern Cape province. Xolela had secured a lucrative job as a specialist systems engineer at Absa's headquarters in Sandton City, Johannesburg. Though very little is publicly known about his educational background, what is very clear is that Xolela had the skills and expertise to secure a job where he was trusted with sensitive access to the bank's Meridian system, which is a system the bank uses to protect itself against online hacking, malware, and related cyber crimes. In September 2021, Xolela began exploiting his access to the system, transferring millions from Absa's corporate business account. Over a short period of between September and December 2021, he transferred more than 103 million rands into several business and personal accounts. These included accounts belonging to his friends, his family members, his lovers, and even a traditional healer. Each person received varying sums, many splashing the stolen funds on luxury items and properties. Once the money started flowing, he brought in a network of people, some close to him, others more distant, and connected in various different ways. Let me unpack that intricate web of criminality. One of the central figures in this story is Atembile Mbani, who was 20 years old at the time. She was Xolani's girlfriend and mother of his child. Though some reports have referred to her as his wife, there is no legal evidence of that marriage. The reports coming from the NPA and other legal authorities have not referred to her as Xolela's wife, but his girlfriend. Her account was one of the 6 primary accounts that received money directly from Absa to her account. Atembile's mother, Nolita Constance Mbani, was also allegedly a beneficiary, having received hundreds of thousands of rands into her personal bank account. Another beneficiary is Xolela's ex-girlfriend, Nonelwa Nondlazi, who received the amount of 290,000 rands and was later arrested alongside many others who were arrested. The name that raised the most eyebrows was that of a 29-year-old man named Gershom Matomani, a close friend of Xolela and director of a Western Cape-based company, Maduna Gubevu Trading Services. He received a staggering 74 million rands in 2 major transactions. 15 million rands, which was transferred from Absa into his personal bank account, followed by 59 million rands transferred to his business bank account. The 2 of them, Xolela and Gershom, had previously worked together as systems engineers at Capitec Bank, so this is where their relationship may have started. Interestingly, At the time of his arrest in 2022, Gershom was already standing trial in an unrelated 3.4 million fraud case at Capitec, in which he and 5 other individuals were accused of transferring the amount of 3.4 million rands into their personal accounts in 2018. In fact, Gershom was arrested while in court for the 2018 Capitec case. I have seen this often where investigators are aware that getting hold of an accused person might be difficult, but if they know that the individual is going to be appearing at a particular place, like at an interview, on TV, or in court, then that is where they go to find the individual. So it's not surprising that he was arrested while in court. Even while in custody, Gershom continued managing the alleged stolen funds from Absa. And he did that in part through giving instructions to his girlfriend, 23-year-old Penelope Thandiwe Mphahlele, who is from Langa Township in Cape Town. One of the instructions was for her to purchase a Mercedes-Benz AMG A35 worth 1 million rands and register it under the name of a new individual, Thembinkosi Majikela, who was also added to the co-conspirators in the scheme. Exactly 60 days after purchasing the A-Class, Thembinkosi traded it in at a dealership in Johannesburg for 900,000. From that amount, he bought a VW Polo GTI for 600K at the same dealership and registered it in Gershom's name. The change was, of course, 300,000, which the dealership transferred to Thembinkosi's account, and in turn, Thembinkosi transferred 280,000 to Gershom, meaning that only 20,000 rands was kept by Thembinkosi, at least that we know of. Investigators would later find that Gershom used some of the money from the 74 million rands to settle his personal debt and buy luxury clothing and electronics and luxury vehicles for himself. Penelope Mphahlele's involvement, remember she is Gershom's girlfriend, her involvement in the case was more than being instructed to go and buy the Mercedes and register it in someone else's name, but rather she had also directly received funds, large sums of money, undisclosed at this point, from Gershom to her personal bank account. Another individual who is swept up in the scandal was a 22-year-old UJ student at the time, Thembelihle Raqaza, who received the amount of 2 million rands. She graduated from UJ in 2024, but at the time she was a student there. She was not among the 6 original accounts that received money directly from the bank, but had the 2 million rands transferred to her by either Xolela or Gershom. It is not clear at this point. But after she became aware that police were looking for her in relation to this case, she came forward voluntarily, handing herself to the police, and was released on a bail of 1,000 rands. There was also another individual, Ayanda Woonville, a Pollsmoor prison warder, who received the amount of 250,000 rands directly from Xolela. The connection between these two is not clear. at this point. Another figure who received money is KZN-based Sangoma, Khumbulani Elvis Ntombela, also known as Mabalangwe, who was 43 at the time. He was also arrested after it was found that he received large sums of money, hundreds of thousands of rands, from Olela. Also involved were a couple that is originally from the Eastern Cape that are now based in Gauteng province, Malusi Shepherd Mtyalela and his wife Belinda Mtyalela, both of whom are employed as senior education specialists at the Gauteng Department of Education. Melusi received the amount of 250,000, while his wife Belinda received 304,000. And they claimed that the amount of more than 500,000 was transferred to them as part of a business deal between them and the main accused. And then another name that turned heads was that of prominent lawyer and business tycoon in Queenstown, Thozamisa Ben-Mazwi, also known in the area as Nyasti, as well as his wife Ntobeko Ben-Mazwi. The couple allegedly received the amount of 2 million rands from Xolela. When questioned by a news outlet, Nyasti claimed that the money was for a property sale. He had sold a property to Xolela, and he even stated that he has documents to show that this was a business transaction related to the property. His name continues, of course, to appear in relation to the ongoing case, though at this point, it is not known if formal charges have been laid against him. Other accused persons include an individual named Celimpilo Simpiwe Msomi and his father, Duduzi Msomi, who also allegedly received large sums of money, as well as a man called Hlomla Foreman, another one called Sicelo Cedric Ndebele, Mduduzi, Siqiwe, Simpiwe, Magobiani, all of whom were arrested for allegedly helping to launder the funds. So, what did Xolela and Atembile do with their part of the loot? The two allegedly bought 7 cars, some of whom were luxury vehicles worth millions, and they bought all these in hard cash. In addition, they also purchased 2 properties in Khayelitsha Township in the Cape Flats in Cape Town in a single day. The two also spent large sums on luxury clothing items, including spending more than 250,000 during a shopping spree in Sandton City on a single day. If you are intrigued by my storytelling, please like this video. That ensures that it reaches more people and helps the channel to grow. In addition, if you are not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Xolela was arrested by the Hawks on the 19th of January 2022 while in his hometown and appeared in the Queenstown Magistrate Court the following day, where the case was subsequently transferred to the Pamrid Specialized Commercial Crimes Court in Ekurhuleni. His girlfriend was also arrested 2 days after him, and the two of them were released on 50,000 rands bail each on the 31st of January. While out on bail, Xolela returned to his home village, supposedly to lay low while investigators intensified their efforts. On the 26th of February, a mere 3 weeks after he was granted bail, 2 gunmen approached him while he was entertaining 4 friends under a tree in his home, Xolela stood up to approach the two men who opened fire with gunshots echoing across the entire village, and the four men scattered in different directions, and the bullets killed Xolela instantly. He was 31 years old at the time. His murder added a dark layer to the mystery. Who may have killed him? Was this to do with the Absa theft case or something completely unrelated? Who had motive to kill Xolela? I would now like to actually pose this question to you. Who do you think may have ordered this hit, and why? Do you think in any way it was related to the case and/or any of the characters that I've mentioned who are involved in the case? To this day, no one has been arrested for Xolela's murder. The case remains unsolved and speculations continue. The case against him, of course, was dropped when his death certificate was submitted to the court. However, the case against his alleged co-conspirators is still ongoing. Is it possible that perhaps some of his co-conspirators thought if Xolela dies, then so will the case? The charges that they still face, even after the death of Xolela, include theft, money laundering, conspiracy to commit fraud, as well as the lesser charge of benefiting from proceeds of crime. All the accused are currently out on bail as this very complex case continues. In June last year, which was 2.5 years after the first arrest was made in January 2022, prosecutors informed the court that they were ready to proceed to trial. However, between then and now, there has not been any updates, which likely means that the court is yet to set a trial date over 4 years after the initial arrest was made. As of now, millions of rands remain unaccounted for, and several luxury items allegedly bought with money from the funds have not yet been recovered. The state was only able to recover about 66 million rands of the Absa funds, with more efforts being made by the NPA to seize assets that were bought with this money. But it remains to be seen how much in total is going to be recovered from that money. So this story is far from over, with the trial still pending, with more funds, with the possibility that more funds will be recovered, and even possibilities that more people could be added to the charge sheet. What are your thoughts on this case? Who do you think may have ordered the hit on the mastermind, Xolela? Do you think in any way that it was connected to the Absa case? And that is it for today's case. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one.